No, unscheduled.
No, I'm streaming here. There it is. And then take us to the
Intro?
yes. Let's give it intro.
I'm pretty sure we are already live. You know that we're already there, right?
We are. Look at the chat. So, hello there and welcome back to the Sanctum, the place where I show you all my tricks, but pull them off live right in front of you. And totally not me sucking at keeping up with what I'm doing, but something happened with the live streaming software for the last few days, and we are addressing the bugs. And I think we finally squashed them all. Aren't we sure about that, Diego? But I mean, it's only brave. Look at that.
We're not
Stunning,
sure,
so brave.
but we are mostly hopeful. I
Yeah,
suppose.
but devoid of any form of lower third, as I can see on your end. Look at
There it
that.
is. Look, proper manners.
Wow, wow, technology. Okay, so as the title implies, we're coming back to Machine, which I think is already visible to you, and we're gonna keep developing the track. As it is right now, we already, in the last few sessions, just the last couple of sessions, because this is the third installment in this series, we just created a little bit of sound design. Some of the sounds that we will be using to turn this into the backbone, or turn those into the backbone of the track that we're going to be developing together. And, well, let's get into it. Look at that, so fast, amazing. So, welcome back to Machine 3, or Machine, I don't know what's the proper pronunciation. In front of you, you got the project that we got so far, or not project, it's just sketches, and that we are gonna be using, as I said before, as the foundation for the track that we're gonna be developing. Now the thing's this, sorry about that. I should make sure that this is in focus mode. Here it is, perfect, done. So, as I was saying, the plan for this is to actually work on a proper song structure, or developing some form of a structure. Now that we got some sound design properly done, that we worked on the last 2 weeks. So, as it is right now, it sounds like this. Okay, it's not bad, right?
Yep.
It's actually kind of sounding like music. I already did some form of cleaning up, organization before going live, in the form of naming the paths correctly on the project. For example, we got here Ancient Traditions, which is a patch coming out of, let me check, I will tell you. It's coming from the Ignition Keys by Native Instruments. It's a contact instrument. And also we got Dark Texture, which is this guy, which is something that we created through the use of do you know what's the name of that guy? Soundthread, the open source, free to download monstrosity.
Yeah.
If you want to see that in action, go to the first installment of this series. But we created this tone that I turned into an instrument. Look at this. Nice.
Very cool.
It's a pad. Then we go back and we also got this subtexture. Super ambiency, right?
Yeah.
We're not using it right now, but again, since it's actually a sample, let me show you here. We already installed it on the sample ranging here. We will find uses for it later. It's actually a cool texture. Then we also got the sound of our pad. This is actually badass. We actually developed this bad boy last week using this synthesizer setup that we got running. I've been using it still because it was actually good sound. But we actually sampled it back and turned it into an instrument. And now we can even use it as a pad. Look at this. Turning a Motor 32, which is a mono synthesizer, into a poly synthesizer. Or a pad like. Very good. Then the next one, we also created a bit of this. Can you hear the pendulum like thing? It's actually gonna be very cool. And we also developed these sounds out of the same big sample that was the subtexture. Now, as it is right now, and also the drums, this is basically an audio plugin. Not an audio plugin, it's basically a loop from Maschine. Okay, very much simple but fun, and we're gonna be using these guys now in order to create some form of song idea. For those of you who are not familiar with the Maschine and the way it works, as you can tell right here on the screen, we got this area. This is the scenes. Through the scenes, we can arrange different patterns, which begs the question: what's a pattern? A pattern is basically a sequence. Okay. And you can assign patterns to every single one of the different groups that you got here. Groups are these buttons. And as you can tell, see what happens if I click on the second one. The entire thing changes. Why? Because in here is where I have my drum pattern right now. And over here is where I got the rest of the sounds that I presented to you. Through the use of patterns, we can trigger them in sequence and synchronize them with different groups. Such as is the example over here. If I press play once again, we're playing the entirety of this pattern over here, which is presented to us. But see what happens if I switch to a different pattern. I'm gonna keep playing, and then I'm gonna switch to pattern number 1 on this particular group. Okay, now you start to see.
Yep.
Now you can see that I can switch between patterns regardless or independently from the different groups. So that's one thing. But what is an scene? An scene is a collection of patterns synchronized together.
Okay.
So if I go to the scene selector over here and I press over here on scene number 2, I will assign, let's say, pattern number 1 to the scene number 2. And then, let me just make sure that this is frozen. Look at this. Okay, take us to we'll be back.
Okay.
With that speed. It's back. Don't know what happened. But okay, let's see. As I was saying, if I go to the scene and I select the scene number 1, you got the selection of pattern number 1 and pattern number 1 on both. But if I go to scene number 2, we only got pattern number 1 on the group number 1, or group A. If I go to patterns, I can simply deselect this guy, and we have no pattern selected over here. So let's play around with this. I'm gonna select on this pattern, pattern number 1. I'm gonna select the sound, and I can do it in a much more easier fashion over here on the controller. I'm gonna select for my scene number 1. I'm gonna play the first pattern we got, which is this. Okay, nice section. And then on scene number 2, I'm gonna go for the same, but with the drums engaged. See what happens. Okay, straightforward, right?
Yeah.
This is very similar to any form of grid-based sequencer, such as the one you can find on Ableton Live or an MPC, because this is truly totally not inspired by the MPC workflow. But also you can find this on Logic, in the live loops function, which totally didn't rip off from Ableton Live, which totally didn't rip off from Bitwig Studio, which totally didn't rip it off from earlier live Ableton Live versions. Okay, so now let's get into something more musical. I just wanted to explain this to you so we can have a proper common ground and we can understand each other. So the way I usually like to work on Maschine is first getting some form of inspiration out of the sounds that I create or I got running. Since I already got a good chunk of sounds that I like, I'm going to be moving them to different groups, allowing me to play them in different ways, okay? Or arrange them in a way that I can move pieces around rather than having them all in the same group.
Yeah.
Make sense to you?
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, let's move our dirty bass to a bass area. I'm going to select group number C, and I'm going to move my bass. I'm going to select it. Now it's selected, and then I'm gonna click on duplicate, and then I'm gonna go to group C, and there it is.
Okay.
As easy as that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now with this in mind, now I can press play, and if I go to my group C, turn on the keyboard. Okay, let's play around with this groove. Of course, my finger drumming sucks, but I'm gonna fix it by changing the position or the representation of the notes on the machine. Because right now we got a chromatic scale, which is not necessarily musical or easy to play with. So I'm gonna go for minor. Let's see. Okay, that's a tricky one because that freaking chord is difficult to decide which one. Oh, one thing, big mistake on my end. Let me just make sure that you can actually hear what's going on. I'm gonna go to the output here, groups, and I'm gonna make sure that yes. Thank you for reminding me, Thiago. Look at that.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Now let me make sure that you can hear it. Let me confirm.
So every new group created should be assigned the output, right?
Yes. Okay. So if for whatever reason I forget, because I'm so into the flow, let me know. Yeah, just can you confirm on the headphones?
Yeah, coming through.
Good. So let's quickly lay down some ideas. So here we go. I'm gonna get rid of this. Down. Let's see now which one is this. This is A flat. Okay. That's a dumb mistake. My bad. Yeah, 'cause I got distracted. One thing, I gotta make sure that my pattern is actually 8 bars rather than 6. Because otherwise, the whole cycle will begin again, and I will be recording on top of what I already recorded.
Yes.
Okay, we got something going, right? You could see that I could quantize it by using the quantize function over here. Now I will go to my drums and let's see if we can create something a little bit more exciting. I like what this beat is doing, this break is doing. We're working with this. This is an audio loop region. You can see on the software that we got this particular line over here. This is showing us the entirety of the loop itself.
Yeah.
Right now we're playing half of the loop. Why? Because the region itself is only 4 bars and the loop is 8. Let's see what happens if we extend it for it to reach the entirety of the loop. Sorry, 2 bars. Here we go. Nice. But how about if we start to mess around with it? I like the sound, but let's see if we can change a little bit the texture of it by switching and playing around with the tune. And also I'm going to increase the output of this particular drum kit. I like that.
Yeah.
That was very cool, right?
Yeah.
But you saw how I was managing to do that.
Yeah. Changing the tune on the spot.
Yes. But I will have to be doing that every freaking time.
Will you?
Of course not. There's automation. Let's automate this bad boy. So here we go. I'm going to press play. And I'm going to be holding the automation mode on the hardware. One thing. You don't need the hardware to work on Maschine. Now you can download, buy the whole software, so you can use it for yourself without the need of having or using the hardware unit. The thing is this, I strongly recommend you to get the hardware. Why? It's super intuitive, it's very musical, it's something that you can do, it's actually an instrument. And you'll see me, I don't consider myself any form of savant when it comes to the use of this device, but I love how the whole workflow flows. And it's very inspiring. So I truly recommend you to get it. You don't have to get the biggest one, which is MK3. You can get the micro, which is very, very, very functional. It has less features, but if you are working in an environment in which you have your computer in front of you the vast majority of times, maybe you don't need the hardware. But me being me, I always want to have I always like to play everything in hard mode. So I always want to learn and spend as much time as possible on whatever I got. So I got the most complex one. So let's go. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play with the tuning at the end of this bar by lowering the tune while the track's playing. And as you can see, I'm controlling it through this particular knob. I'm going to show you once again. Okay, so as you could tell, I tried different versions or different variants of the detuning.
Yeah.
I happen to like the sound of the entire loop one step ahead. We're not in perfect pitch. We're one step ahead. Now I'm gonna be docking let's say maybe -3, but just there, and I'm gonna automate it. So once again, setting it to the point in which I like it. I'm gonna press play again, and I'm gonna keep my finger on auto. Or if I do it like this, I don't have to press auto. But the thing is this, I'm going to lock the auto function, so everything I do will be automated.
Okay.
So I don't think that's a good idea for now. So here we go. That was a happy accident.
Yeah, but it worked quite nicely.
I like it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, now let's apply a bit of filters. We're gonna be using. We're gonna insert a new plugin because these are plugins. This is not stuff exclusive to Machine, because this is basically just an audio loop. The thing is that the engine on Machine is very good at working and mangling audio. So, yeah, it's very good. Now let's insert a filter. Let's look for one. There is filter. Let's see how it sounds like. That's nice. But I'm not sold. Let's try something different. I'm gonna go to group and I'm gonna insert something fun. This is called the preform effect. What's that?
What is that?
Good question. It's many things. Why? If I click here on the hardware, I switch the use of the touch bar to a different function. In this case, is perform cell effect select. What does that stand for? Pay attention to this. And also show them the screen. Look at that.
Okay.
I'm controlling it through this. So see what happens. Right now, I assigned a filter to it.
Okay.
It's super cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
But that's just the first effect. That's a filter. How about flanger? I love that.
Pretty awesome.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Also, let's try something different. Burst echo. Super good, right?
That thing was pretty cool.
This is the one I liked.
Yeah, because adding kind of a layer of complexity to the
Yeah.
the reading pattern.
Kind of
Very,
syncopated.
very cool.
Kind
Yeah.
of syncopated, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. And yes, you can automate this bad boy as well. Or, am I doing that live? Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
No thing.
If only. Okay.
Oh yeah. There's one problem with that. Do you remember how the whole Machine workflow goes?
I don't know what you're referring to.
The use of paths, sounds, and groups. Do you remember or not?
I have an idea.
Okay. Can you elaborate or not?
On
Are you feeling there?
No, I'm not feeling that.
Okay, no problem. Look, think this. In mine, I'm gonna pretend that you have tried or worked with a digital audio workstation, a DAW, something that you will be concerned with something like this, right?
Yeah.
A regular traditional production software. Traditional. Well, at this stage it is, man. It's been 20 years plus of that becoming mainstream, but whatever. You work with channels, right?
Yeah.
It's like in Logic. But in here we don't have channels. We got sounds, which is represented by each of the paths. These paths, you can show them the hardware, please. These paths over here, in mind that each of these paths, each of these lights, represents a track on Logic. Okay? The thing is that they are triggered by pressing as an instrument, but they are still being seen as Machine understand them as tracks.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
The thing is that over here you got groups. These groups are basically buses. And each group contains 16 pads, therefore 16 tracks.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All of them fed to its group.
Yes.
And those groups are fed to the master, which is what you hear on your end and we are hearing here in the studio.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is this. These perform effects, the use of this, the strip itself and these kind of very wonky and funky sound effects only are available to you on a group,
Okay.
not on a sound. Is that a limitation? Not necessarily. You gotta be clever. Because I'm gonna be using this bad boy for this group is gonna be my drums group. If I start to create a much more elaborate rhythm, we could use it. So let's do something like that. I'm gonna first change the position of this guy because it's actually kind of annoying me. I'm gonna use my mouse because it's going faster. I'm gonna put it over here, 16. That way it's over here because I will like to add a little bit of extra drums. And also I'm gonna go to my sound and I'm gonna use my filter, but I'm gonna remove the low end. Why? Because I'm gonna add an extra kick.
Okay.
Get me? So here we go. I'm gonna go for high pass filter. Thank you very much. Not to be confused with low cut. I'm gonna turn off, of course, the filter itself. Let's see. And also, I'm gonna add a limiter. Why? That spike, when I did the automation, it's kind of ear-piercing. It's not incorrect, but I kind of get distracted by it.
Yeah, jumping out a little bit.
You could feel it, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go for a limiter. Why not a compressor? Because I want to squash that bad boy.
We'll go aggressive.
Yes. And we were having this conversation a few weeks ago now, how people who develop this kind of more electronic music, sounding music, tend to be very much, they spend too much time on plugins and stuff. The people who truly understand what they're doing, the good producers, are the ones who understand quite a lot of what makes mixing music mixable, right? So whenever I work with someone who is very into the electronic music genre, mixing wise, of course, they tend to send you something that is quasi mixed, almost good sounding, not professional level, but it's very much almost there. Why is that? Because they already kind of mixed and worked on the development of the sounds in the way of what producing the track, and that's what we're gonna be doing right now. Why am I removing the low end of the kick of this loop? Because since I'm gonna be adding extra kicks and stuff from a different, I want to use this much more of a kind of shaker-like thing, rather than just a drum kit.
Yes. Okay.
So limiter, let's see. Is no longer sticking out.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with that being said, let's work on the sounds. I'm gonna go for my browser. I'm gonna select, and you should be able to see the same over there. Yes, you should. You are. Let's look for some sounds. Here we got the expansions drum machine. I happen to own complete ultimate, the big one. So it comes loaded with plenty of expansions. What are expansions? Expansions are basically loops, sound bites, presets, pre-produced or produced by native instruments themselves that comes with plenty of useful things. Look at that.
Okay.
It's kind of comes with plenty. This one kind of I like, since I'm looking for drums. I think this one is not necessarily wrong. So I'm gonna go for Group D and I'm gonna load this bad boy over there.
But it's the full ensemble.
It's the full everything. Look, we got this.
Need you,
Oh,
the
thank you.
output.
Yes. Let's do that. Over here. Infinite. Yes. 9. Thank you. Thank you, Theo. So, there it is. Okay. That's a nice kick.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is this. You saw that I actually loaded this bad boy to a different group. Why? Because I don't want to mess the stuff that I already worked on the different groups. Okay? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to see what this thing is doing, get familiar with the sounds, and pick the ones that I like, and I'm going to bring them into the sound of my drum kit group. Okay?
Okay.
So let's see. I love the kick already. That's a very interesting sounding snare. Nice. The hi-hats are fantastic. The rim shot.
I see potential in that.
Yeah, this could have its uses.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see that one. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, that's actually very nice. This is useful. I love them all.
Yep. Very good. Is that a library?
It's a preset from the Basement era expansion.
Very cool.
Yeah, they're very, very good. Okay, so since I like them all, I'm not gonna delete anything. Okay, but I'm gonna move stuff around. Okay, those are my kicks, so I'm gonna select both. Also the snare and the hi-hats, I like them. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Maybe the effects, I will see what I do with them. And then I'm gonna duplicate. I'm gonna duplicate the events. No, I'm gonna duplicate just the one by one. So kick 1, bap, got it. Kick 2, got it. Now snare, got it. Let's see, close hi-hats, got it.
That was kick again.
Oh yes, you're right. It's because I duplicate stupidly. Here, let me fix that. I'm gonna Command C or the. There it is. Okay, let me see what I have. Perfect. Yeah, because I duplicated the same several times. My mistake. So let's delete the extra shit. Done. So let's see. We're gonna be duplicating. I duplicated everything. Look at that. Somebody's eagle-eyed. Okay, there it is. Perfect. So let me remove the selection because that probably was the problem. There it is. So let's duplicate the stuff. So I want kick 1. Thank you. Then duplicate. We're gonna get this there. Thank you. Perfect.
Okay.
Look at that. Yeah, my mistake. Kick 2. Oh shit, that was a problem. I never released the duplicate. So let's duplicate that. There it is. Perfect. My mistake.
There it is.
There it is. Now hi-hats. Perfect. Good. So now we got this going. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Now, let's see if we can use this guy.
In the same group, you have an audio file playing the sample, plus the MIDI triggering the samples for the individual parts of the kit.
Indeed.
That's very interesting.
It's very weird, right? It's different from what you're used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can see that we kept the automation going while I lay down an extra layer of rhythm or rhythmical information to my kit. Now, what happens if I use the perform effect?
Okay, to the whole group.
It's the whole group.
Very
Now
cool.
you start to see where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you to understand how this whole thing operates. Because if you start to think of this in terms of, okay, I'm not, my automation, my performance will be applied to the entirety of the kit rather than a particular section.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to add a little bit of reverb to this. Why? Why not? Let's do it. I select it. There it is. And then after my limiter, I'm going to apply reverb. Let's try
You're doing that to that sound.
to that sound.
Okay.
Let's go for, what about, what if we add delay to that? Let's see. Bit delay.
Cool.
Let's mix it in. It's starting to sound kind of early 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
I just think it's gonna be a mess when you bring in your the
I
other delay.
might not do it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might not do it because I'm starting to like this.
Yeah, this one's very cool.
It's starting to, because it's doing what the beat, the strip thing is doing,
Yeah.
but more controlled.
Yeah.
Because I liked what this guy was doing to this particular element there. And now we got it.
Yeah.
The problem is that once I add the kick and stuff, build up in a way they're like, ugh,
Yeah.
too much. So let me mix in, and let me show you the mix over here. I'm gonna try to arrange this stuff in a way that makes sense. Right now we got here our break, and over here we got everything I added. Look at this. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but if I press here, which is my kick, nothing happens. Why? Yes, this guy also works as a mixer, because it is a mixer. So let's blend in the elements of my drum kit. I'm gonna mute everything that is not drums. The groove is nice.
Yeah.
I'm actually enjoying it's kind of has that funky element to it.
It has
don't you
quite a
think?
lot of motion to it.
Yeah, it's plenty. There's plenty of motion to it.
Yeah.
Now let's see. Let's go back to the expansion. Let's see what we got that we haven't used. And of course, let me unmute it. This sounds fancy. This could be the beginning. So since I like this, let me first delete the stuff that I already copied to the other region. Why? Important. When working with Maschine, I developed this bad habit of just letting stuff pile up in the way of sounds and pads, which made me forget what I was doing, or simply wasting the DSP power of my computer used on keeping instruments that I'm not working with available to me the whole time. Since we already have kick 1, kick 2, snare, close hi-hat and open hi-hat, I'm gonna delete those from this group. So simple. We're gonna go once again to select multi, these guys, and then we're gonna simply go like bada bing, bada bam, bada bam, bada bam. Done. Go. Gone. So there you go. Select. Thank you. That's it. Now with this, I'm sure that is not still good. That's actually very interesting. This could be. We'll see. We will see. I like this one. So, how about if we add delay to this? Let's go. Let's go. Let's see, bit delay. We need more feedback. Okay, I'm gonna mute the bass for now. And this is once again bookkeeping. Let's do this before we keep going. I'm gonna go back to this area and I'm gonna change names. This is gonna be drums. Drums. Captions. Why captions are important, Thiago?
They are not there.
Oh, damn it.
They are important because they are more easily read
Yes.
from afar.
Especially because I'm not close to computer. Drums. Bam. Then let's take a look. This is bass. Based. Okay. And I'm gonna give this is XP. Why? Because this is telling me that this is the expansion we got.
Okay.
Okay, for now. I might change it later, but at least I can, from my arranger over here, now I know that yellow is drums. Lemon yellow is bass, and the expansion, the stuff that I'm building from, is it's coming from the green one. So
yeah,
that was a happy accent. Okay,
they're in the same.
The same group.
Okay.
So if I do this. Okay, let's create a new scene.
But why is the same pad triggering both sounds?
No, I'm pressing both.
Ah, okay.
But I can trigger them automatically.
Okay.
More on that later. We are not going to do that on this one because there is no need.
Yes.
But you can actually trigger several pads with just one pad. So let's do this. And let's make this guy more expansive sounding. Let me get out of this, the Ranger. And let's select this guy. I want to add more. So in this case, let's go for plugins. But we're going to go for something bigger.
Round.
Or black hole.
Oh, yes.
Let's see. We got black hole, but we could also try. Let me see. RAM is not a bad idea. But look, we can add some. We can do it with something a bit more colorful. Let's try Red Plate by Arturia. Let's try this one, Bright Tunnel. This is a preset, okay?
I'm sold.
Yeah, that was better than I thought, man.
Yeah, that was very good.
And what is this? That plugin.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen me using it on different DOS. It's a very good plugin. Should I mess around with it? I don't think so.
It's working as is.
Yeah. So let's create an intro, okay? It could be like. Yeah. Let's try this. So, here we go. It's not going through. Let me check. Confirm that the sound is going out, because for whatever reason this guy, it was, and I didn't set this up. Sorry, that's my bad. Let me show you what we did. Okay, now it's going through. Sorry about that. Okay. Why am I having to do that every time? The thing is that since we are actually outputting, I'm using one of the auxiliary outputs of Maschine, which you can use. Imagine it as a bus. Okay. Everything I do, every single group I create or every sound has to be routed to that particular bus. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear anything other than the stuff that is going through the speakers and captured by the microphones here. Sorry about that. But this is what I did. I'm going to briefly re-explain what I did. First, I found this sound. I like it. Very fancy sounding chord. And then I turn on or inserted the bit delay that we used before. Nice, right? Yeah. Then I selected this guy. And I like the sound of this. Quite out there, but it's useful because it's actually a nice sound. And then I wanted to make it larger than life, and I simply inserted the plugin that you got in front of you. Huge difference.
Yeah, very cool.
So let's see. I already recorded the pattern. Let me just make sure that it is correctly done. Yes, it is. And also quantize it. That way I can rest assured that I kind of fix it. So let's see. I'm going to go to my bass. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's it. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna turn on the metronome so I can practice. Okay, this could be a potential introduction. So,
one thing, the metronome is not going through.
No, the metronome is not going through. It's just on my end.
Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm gonna do is gonna go to pattern, and I'm gonna create. Do I have anything here on this pattern? I don't. So I'm gonna use pattern number 2. Okay. Let's write this piece. It's very simple line. Okay, let's see. Hopefully it's not going to be that terrible. I can quantize it already. It could work.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily bad. But maybe this kick is going to be better for this particular application. So what I'm going to do, enter step sequencer. Like it, but the hi-hat holds the note way too long, right?
Yeah.
I want it to be shorter. If only there was a way to control the length of the sample. Of course, there is. Let's go to it. First, let's get out of the step mode. And then, let's see. We got here the play range of our sample. Maybe you might need to remove my face. There.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Look at that. This is the entirety of the length of the sample. See. Right now, we are actually playing the entirety of the sample just by pressing the note, which makes me think that we don't have to manual the sound. What we will do is go to my sampler, and let me see. Okay, I'm gonna show it here. That's better. And I'm gonna go to the very first option, HDSR, but we're gonna shorten the decay even more, and the hold. That's too much. Okay.
That might work.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
So we're kind of starting to get some form of introduction to this track. Now, if only there was a way to start to arrange the areas, of course. So let's see. First, we gotta do some bookkeeping again. So I'm gonna go to the scenes. Since this is the one that I think is kind of like the intro, this is gonna be intro. Bam. And it's kind of weird having the intro in the in the slot number 3, right?
Yeah.
Let's drag it and put it here. Let's put it on number 1. Yeah,
that
makes much more sense, right? So,
But I think you just changed the naming.
no, look. The thing is that that guy was muted, man. Now you see, or do you understand what's going on? You don't.
The thing is that the pattern 1 and 2, which were part of group intro before,
Yes.
you changed the position of intro and the patterns didn't go with.
No, because they are still stuck to the same groups. Look, you got groups here. The scenes here.
Ah, okay. Ah,
Get it?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't follow. So if I, for example, don't know, bring in some on the power of Christ, the power of power number 1 from group A. Okay, understood?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very nice. So in this case, also, I'm gonna do some bookkeeping again because this is kind of messed up. My pattern here is kind of weird that we got the kind of just bass kick drum 4 to the floor on pattern number 2 when we got the fully fleshed out rhythm on pattern number 1.
Yeah.
So the same applies. I'm gonna put it on top. Let's rename it. Rename. This is gonna be 4 to floor. Damn. Sorry, the thing is that the keyboard is far. 4 to floor. This is gonna be maybe rename pattern number 1. The drums 1. Good. And in here we got on bass. This is also kind of not a good idea having this guy here because the second one is the BC one. So I'm gonna put it over here. And this is quite kind of normal to in my workflow. Why? Because I usually kind of get inspired by developing some form of quasi idea, and from there, okay, how could it begin? How could I get here?
Yeah.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. Of course not. Let's go. I'm gonna change. Let's check. Part number 2 over here. Man, I love that bit.
the river, no, the
The
delay,
delay
is
is
very
so
cool,
good, man.
Yeah.
It's so good, yes. So this is gonna be intro. Since we know that this is on the bass, it's gonna be intro. Intro, there is. And this is also intro. Okay, so now we got the intro rhythm. Damn it, sorry about that, because probably on your end you heard a huge explosion. I'm gonna select my 4-4 because that's the introduction. And I will try to see if I can add a little bit of a pad-like thing, so we can add a little bit more of ambience to this introduction. But first, let's organize a little bit the sounds because it's kind of loud. We got a little bit of a mess when it comes to sounds or volume. So let's go to the mixer. Over here, let me show you the mixer over there as well. My mixer, it's basically just showing me the entirety of the pads, the void of or agnostic to the fact of them carrying a sound or not, sound, instrument, or sample. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because that's how this was designed. But also kind of makes sense because you develop this muscle memory. For example, I know that if I don't have this, show them the hardware, please. You can see that there is this light and this one, and it swaps. Okay. This allows you to know that if this is not lit up, I'm working with 1 to 16. Sorry, 1 to 8. If it's the other way around, if it's lit, I know that I'm working from 9 to 16.
Okay.
Regardless of them carrying sounds or not. So that's actually is designed for you to be on the move, right?
Yes.
So right now, since we are dealing with a machine, a unit that has actual colors, I'm saying that because I actually began working with machine with MK1, which everything was orange and monochromatic. So it was kind of difficult to get track of what you were doing. But now this one with fantastic experience and everything, I can do everything I want and keep track of everything through the use of my visual cues. Yellow stands for my drums. Orange stands for my mess because it's the one that I use to load my sounds. And green stands for the expansion and bass. Okay, so I'm gonna mute the expansion for now. The sound of the expansion alone. Group, of course, and I'm gonna work with the mixer to see if bass and drums are kind of sounding balanced. Nice, much more balanced. And it's going through correctly over there, right?
Yeah, it is.
Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna bring in the expansion. I'm gonna mute it. But if you have seen me mixing before, you know that I always do this. I'm gonna working with this guy, so it goes all the way down, and also this guy all the way down. Why? Because I'm gonna be bringing them in little by little. So since I know that my first sound that I'm gonna be working on is the Rhodes, the chord, the fancy chord with the delay, I'm gonna move my mixer to that guy. I'm gonna press play and I'm gonna find the sweet spot for this guy. You see, it starts to gets to you. Now let's see. Let's bring in now the sound of the other instrument, which is the weird ass thing. Already selected. I'm gonna bring it in and try to find sweet spot. The thing is this: this sound only plays once per cycle. So I'm gonna try to eyeball it, and let's see. Nice. I know what to do, but this hi-hat is so dry that it's pissing me off. I'm gonna add some reverb to it. Let's use the less pre-delay, bigger size, shorter delay, more mix. That's terrible. And also makes me think that I would add a little bit of delay or reverb to that to the chord as well. So select, here is perfect. Reverb. But in this case I'm gonna go for something bigger. Let's go for what can I use? Eventide. Let's go for let me think. Yeah, SP26 2016. Where is it? It's not here. Of course not. It's gonna be here. Let me show you. There it is. As you could tell from the looks of my screens over here on my Maschine device, this thing is not compatible with the NKS protocol, which is what allows me to have a visual or much more beautiful, better presented presentation on my device, on my hardware unit. But doesn't mean that it's not still being capable of controlling it from the unit itself. Look at this. Wet dry. Wow.
Okay, cool.
And most of the time it actually does a great job. For real. You don't have to map them. So let's see. At this point, since I want to add a little bit of extra vibe to it, I'm going to make the decay a little bit longer because this is a very, very... Get me?
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm going to increase the decay, and you can see that I'm going bananas on the plugin, so that's not necessarily good. Then let's try a different algorithm. I'm going to go for... let's go for stereo room. And we're going to go for maybe 38% wet. Ah! That was good.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? I'm starting to feel fancy. But again, I will work on my mix again. It's a little bit louder. Not louder, but it added so much punch to it that it's a little bit much in our faces. So I'm going to duck down. How about that?
Like it a lot. The sound became a lot lusher.
Lusher.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back to our original mess, and I'm gonna look for... This texture is good, but... Oh, yes! Let's see, I'm gonna go for keyword. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's see. I'm gonna switch, or I'm gonna go for a different pattern here. I'm gonna go for my scenes, my arranger, and I'm gonna select just for testing principles or reasons. I'm gonna select the same intro, but we're gonna go for the second drum pattern, while I'm gonna be trying to see if I can develop some form of melody or harmony that accompanies this particular arrangement.
That was cool.
Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. So, shift, file to save. What did we learn today? Because the first time you're actually seeing the whole machine apparatus in action, in full action.
Yeah, it's quite powerful, and the hands-on approach to it, because you mentioned the whole notion of using just the doll but not the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Just by looking at you working at it, I already see why not having the hardware would be a big miss.
Yes.
Because the hands-on approach and the way that it allows you to very intuitively work with the sounds, work with the whole the workflow of the groups, the sounds and the scenes
Yes.
in a very efficient way. The workflow itself is part of the inspiration process,
100%. Man.
not only the capabilities of the software.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It's super best. I'm totally not thinking on developing a monstrosity of an instrument based on Maschine Plus. Maschine Plus is basically this without the need of a computer. Everything is done inside of the machine. Device. You may say, "Oh, but just get an NPC." The only benefit you get out of an NPC, from my perspective, is just the touchscreens, which I've been very frank, don't feel the need. It's a great device. It's something that I consider to be a good device, but is it superior? I think it's a matter of taste. So, any of you haters, well, you can do you know what to do with that. But and trying not to antagonize with NPC users, that's a good device as well. Totally respect it. So. The power of this particular device, or this particular new take on the group boxes, is fantastic, because this is no longer a drum machine. This is a fully featured instrument. See how much things I'm doing.
Yeah.
And what if I tell you that you can actually use it on Logic?
The same thing?
Machine, the software, is seen as you can insert it on Logic as an instrument.
For real?
Yes.
The whole software?
Yes.
Damn.
What you see here can run inside of a DAW or a traditional DAW as a virtual instrument.
Damn.
Multi-output, pow, and synchronized to tempo.
Badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is fantastic. And just a reminder, that sound is a sample that we created on the Mojo.
Yeah.
I will make, once this project is over, I'm gonna try to create a proper and organize the samples that created here, so you can download them for free. Okay, but after Christmas, because we're basically 1 week away from the last show of the year.
Yeah.
Are you excited for that too?
I am excited. I am excited actually, because
Why?
it's Christmas time again,
Bash.
which is the name of the Leonard Skinner album that you haven't listened to yet, but you should.
Yes, you should. Now
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, Leonard Skinner actually has a Christmas album.
They do.
It's called Christmas Time Again.
Yes, and it's actually not bad, surprisingly, because you might be thinking, just a gimmick. It is. But
It's always a gimmick.
But it's a gimmick well done.
Yeah.
So totally recommended. So, do you like Machine now?
Machine is impressive. For real. The not only capabilities, but the cleverness of the workflow.
Mm-hmm.
The device itself, the way that they manage to make something that goes so deep becomes reasonably intuitive is impressive.
It is indeed.
Because it goes very, very deep.
It is.
Yeah.
And the hands-on thing is what sells it to me.
Yeah.
The plan for this project, for those of you who haven't following, just pop up in this particular live stream, is for this session to go from machine into, well, basically maybe into even mixing the whole track. But we're talking about several months ahead.
Yeah.
Because my plan is to show you the full workflow that I got from machine. Sketching ideas on the machine software, even taking the song to a particular point on which I kind of feel that it's already working. Then my plan is to move over to, for example, Logic, do all sort of live stuff with the machine while recording the performance to Logic. That's actually very fun. And then adding and taking advantage of Logic's features, such as, I don't know, recording in a very much more easier fashion. You can do it on machine. Yes, indeed, but it's simpler on Logic, being very frank. Because machine is way too capable. And it's actually, basically, you can run the entire show of a production inside of the machine software. But why would you? Being very honest.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
machine is great for many things. But when it comes to stacking or layering actual live instruments and performances and stuff like that, it wasn't designed for such a thing.
Yeah.
And even though you can do it, it's the same what happens with Bitwig. It's a fantastic software, but you saw me working on it.
Yeah.
Would you mix on it?
No.
No, you gotta be free.
very
You gotta be
cumbersome.
crazy, man.
Yeah, probably very cumbersome.
And I love Bitwig, but it's not designed for mixing, man. So, thank you for joining. Thanks for watching. Stick around because next week we're gonna keep developing this track. And maybe if I find my Christmas hats, we're gonna be rocking some Christmas attire. So, with that being said, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. And if you like support this channel, please like this. Please press like. Don't be cheap. We've been doing this for free than 30 of this time, allegedly. So the least you can do is at least liking the video. I know you did. Thank you. Now, the only thing left to remind it is for you to never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that we'll see you when we see you.